Welcome to VTU online program. Myself Dr. Mahantesh Birje, professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, VTU Belagavi. I am dealing with module 5 of the course Programming using C. This happens to be the last module of the course. Structures and unions are the best programming tools of a C programming language, which are used for organizing and manipulating the data, complex data particularly, in an efficient manner. You have already studied various data types, like maybe primitive data, derived data, or user defined data type. So, this structure and union happens to be one of the user defined data types. We will deal with that. Before starting the structures unions directly, this is the content of the module 5, which speaks about the structures, unions, and then we will discuss, after having a thorough discussion on structures, unions and all, we will try to compare the similarities between these two user defined data structures, followed by the differences between these two. Some of the real world examples we will discuss, and then the advantages of structures and unions, followed by the files, what are the operations that are possible or that we do in file handling and all, right. So, these are the contents of the module 5. Let us begin with the structures, where the learning outcome of this part will be, we define what the structure is, how to declare it, what is the syntax, how to access a structure member, how to initialize the structure member, what are the ways, followed by arrays and structures, how to use the arrays within the structure, followed by nesting of a structure, that is how a particular structure can be embedded or nested within another structure, and then structures and functions, how the structure can be passed to a function as a parameter. So, these are the things we will study with respect to the structures in detail. Now, as I told already, you have studied the different data types. C has a different data type, like which are categorized basically into primitive data type, which happen to be very basic data type in the C, which are used for representation of a simple values. Then you must have studied the derived data type, like arrays, pointers and all, where these are derived out using the primitive data types or the basic data types like int, character and all. Then we come across the user defined data types, which are defined by the user himself, right. So, as all of us know, arrays happen to be derived data type, which is derived using either the integer or the strings, but usually arrays are used for storing or holding the homogeneous data, maybe a name of a person, a name of the book, or name of the cities, or a group, a set of integers, or set of real values, etc., etc. So, whereas when we have to store the heterogeneous data, what is the way the structures or the unions come into picture. So, where structure is a data type that helps together in collecting the different data, collecting the attributes or the various properties of belonging to a particular object or entity, group them under a single name, right. So, whether there may be of similar data homogeneous or it may be heterogeneous data as well. So, something like we may come across to maintain the record of a person, employee. So, in the sense that record may include what is the name of a person, what is the date of birth, where from he is, what is his salary, what is the employee ID, etc., etc. In the same way, we may have to maintain a book record in the library and all. They maintain the list of books or the records of books. Similarly, car record in a garage. If at all I am a garage owner, like, I need to know how many cars are there in my garage, what are the models or the types of the cars that I have. Like when it comes to the car, is it by the Hyundai, what is the engine number, and then maybe what type of the fuel it uses, whether it is a petrol or diesel car, what is the model, year of manufacturing. All these kind of the information can be stored associated with a car. Similarly, the vending machine, which may be used to deliver the different products, right. So, here is just an example. I was telling the book record, that just to extend give little more information on this. Maybe I am speaking about a list of books in the library, or a record of related to the book may contain the title of a book, where it happens to be a computer programming in C for beginners. This is a title. So, it is published by the Springer publishers, and it is authored by Gonzalez. So, like this, the title name, publisher name, author name, when it is published, year of the publication, edition, how many number of pages it includes, like all these information can be associated with this book. In the same way, maybe I have another book, C programming language, with its own attributes, like it has its own title, the authors, the publisher, the number of pages, and the year of publication. Like this, the third book, fourth book, n number of the books. The last book may be the C programming language, right, by Dennis Ritchie, Ritchie, which happens to be the second edition. So, like this, whenever we want to maintain the records of books, one may we need to have a particular data type which helps us to store all these properties of a book, like title, name, name of the author, publisher, year of the publication, number of pages, etc., etc. And these represent this consists the heterogeneous data type, right. Name happens to be represents a group of characters, a string, year represents integer value. Like this, different data types it has. So, structures are the solution to represent a book record. So, now here we define a structure. So, it is a collection of one or more variables, typically of different types, heterogeneous, which are grouped together under a single name for convenient handling. So, these structures usually are used for handling a group of logically related data items, right. I told all the attributes or the values associated with a book represent a logically related data items or values. So, name of a student, roll number, marks, these are all the attributes or the items related to a student. In the same way, maybe the numbers, complex numbers, which may consist real part as well as a complex part. So, just it is an extension of the structures, so which stores heterogeneous data, right. It helps in organizing complex data in a more meaningful way, and the individual members or data items in the structure is called as a structure member. So, this is the way how we declare or the syntax for writing a struct tag. A tag is associated with a structure which is optional, right. It consists of the members within that. So, struct happens to be a keyword in a C followed by a tag. So, tag is the name of the structure, So, member 1, member 2 etc. are individual member declarations, they are the data items within a structure. So, these individual members can be ordinary variables of primitive data type. So, these member names within a particular structure must be distinct from one another. A member name can be the same as the name of a variable defined outside the structure. Once a structure has been defined, the individual structure type variables can be declared. So, we are declaring a structure in this fashion, struct tag, and I can create the different structure variables of this type, struct tag. So, this is struct tag, and these are the variables, variable 1, variable 2 up to variable n, whatever the number of variables we need to declare of type struct tag. This is the way of declaration. So, one example is, let me declare a student structure. So, the tag name is student here, struct student, which consists of different members like the name of a student, roll number, total marks, date of birth. So, this is the structure, and I am defining some structure variables called A1, A2, A3, which happen to be of type struct student. So, this struct student represents a new data type, which is defined by us, a user, and hence we call as user defined data type. So, the similar definition or the declaration of a structure can be represented in a compact form, another form, right, where we combine the declaration of the structure with that that of the structure variables. In the sense, so the same structure tag member 1, member all the members, and the variable 1 to n can be written here only before this semicolon, right. So, instead of writing struct tag variable 1 comma variable 2 comma variable n, we can declare the variable 1 2 3 here only after the declaration of a, here only in the definition, structure definition. So, this definition declares the three variables, three structure variables, variable 1, 2, variable n. So, this is a kind of a compact form. And now, another example of a structure that book records I was telling, a book, struct book having the book name, price and the number of pages as its structure members, and I am defining the structure variables B1, B2, B3 of type struct book, right. So, this is one declaration which may be same using the compact form. The same declaration can be written in this fashion, struct book, all the three members, where B1, B2, B3 variables are written here only. Compared to this, instead of writing struct book B1, B2, B3, compact form is I can write down the name of structure variables B1, B2, B3 in this definition only. While this another representation may be this, where the same declaration of the definition, but we do not have any tag over here, something like the tag used was book here for this definition, but here you need not to have that tag compulsorily, it is optional. So, like this structure can be declared in 2-3 ways like this, one form, another form which is same as this. So, these are the ways to write the structures. Now, let us come to how to access a structure members particularly. the members of a structure are processed individually as separate entities. So, it is a member, each member is a separate variable, where that structure member can be accessed like this, variable dot member. So, dot operator helps us to access any member of a structure, right, structure variable dot member. So, where this variable refers to a particular structure type variable, structure variable, and the member refers to a one element within the structure. As an example, maybe name is a structure member of a student, maybe A1 happens to be structure variable of a student, and name is value element or member within this A1 structure or a student structure. In the same way, the name of another structure variable A2, and then roll number corresponding to structure variable A1, date of birth corresponding to structure variable A3. So, dot is the operator which is used for accessing any member belonging to a particular structure variable. So, now just to have one example of how to access the variable structure members, here is one example where we considered addition of a complex number. So, main we are defining a structure called as complex, where the variables are A, B, C, and the definition of a complex number includes two members, real and complex. A, B, C are the structure variables, where A, B are the two complex numbers that we need to feed in or to be given as a input, and C happens to be the output or the result of a addition of two complex numbers. So, you must have studied in previous modules or the previous classes how to deal with this addition of a complex numbers and all. So, I read the value of real member as well as the complex member associated with a structure A first, A dot real, A dot complex, and then I read the value of real and the complex members associated with the structure variable B, and then I need to add the real part of complex number A and complex number B, A dot real plus B dot real, where the sum of this will be stored into the C dot real. In the same way, the C dot complex will hold the imaginary part of A as well as a B, right, and then we print out the sum of these two numbers as C dot real and C dot complex. So, here dot is the one or is the operator using which I can access the data members, structure members. Now, after discussing this accessing of a structure variable or the structure member, let us discuss about the initialization of these structures. Structure variables may be initialized following similar rules as of an array. You have studied it already. The values are provided within the second braces separated by commas. Here is an example. We know how to declare a structure. This is a structure variable called A, which is of type struct complex. Yeah, so there are two structures A and B, where a complex structure called A is initialized with two values to represent a real value and the complex value, imaginary part. A equals 1, 2. In the same way, B equals -3, 4. So, this is how, this is one way of initializing the values for a structure, where members A dot real holds this value 1, A dot complex holds the value 2. So, which can be assigned to the structure variable A. In the same way, B holds -3 and 4 to hold real and imaginary part of structure variable B, right. So, this is what A dot real represents, and as well as A dot imaginaries, and the imaginary and real part of a B, as I have told. This is one way of initialization. You can see here we are defining one structure book, where we are creating the instances of these structure B1, B2 are the instances or the objects of struct book. So, this structure holds the members name, price and pages associated with a particular book variable. Okay. So, B1 is one variable which holds the information of one book whose title is basic, whose price is 130 and it includes 550 pages. So, the properties, as I was telling previously, the attribute values associated with a particular object are grouped together and initialized here corresponding to structure variable B1. In the same way, another book called B2, which can be initialized, whose values can be initialized to hold a values like physics 150.80 and 800 number of pages with this book, right. So, having initialized this kind of a initialization associated with a particular structure, I can access any structure member associated with any structure variable in this fashion. Like if at all I would like to access the number of pages, how many number of pages are there associated with the book 1, this is the statement. B1 dot pages is the command. Similarly, what is the price associated with the book B1, B1 dot price. This is the way how I can write in the command or the instruction. So, operations on structure variables. Various operations are possible for the structures. Basically, not all operations that we used to do with the arrays are possible over here. A structure variable can be directly assigned to another structure variable of the same type. As an example, if A1, A2 are the two structure variables of similar type, then A1 can take the value of A2 structure variable by using this statement A1 equals A2. So, all individual members get assigned. On this assignment, the values associated with all the members of A2 will get copied with respect to values of the members of structure variable A1. Similarly, another operation, if you take the two structure variables cannot be compared for equality or inequality, right. So, all operations as I told cannot be done, assignment can be done, not a issue, but checking for equality of the structure variables, no, okay. They cannot be compared for equality or inequality directly using something like this, because A1 happens to be the structure variable and A2 happens to be the structure variables. Two structures cannot be compared using this equality operator. Fine. Yeah. Okay. So, values of, you can see here, struct employee which holds the members like name, age, salary, and we are defining two instances of a structure, E1 to hold values correspond to the employee, right, whose values are Sanjay 30 and the salary associated with him. In a same way, we consider other two employees E2, E3, right. You can see now, as I have told already, how the member values can be copied from one structure member belonging to one structure variable to other structure variable. So, individual items can be copied where, so this string copy command is there which copies the name belonging to the employee E1 to employee name of a employee 2. In the same way, the other attributes also age, salary associated with the employee 1 gets copied with respect to age and salary of a employee 2. So, individual member wise assignment can be possible in this fashion. In the same way, we can copy the whole structure to another structure provided if they are of similar type. In the sense, as an example, E3 equals E2, where all the member values of all the members belonging to E2 structure variable get copied to the members of E3 structure variable, right. And hence, if you print the salary and name, age, salary of E1, E2, E3, so you will find that whatever the values we have assigned here, Sanjay 30 and this salary will be there with respect to the first printf. In the same way, E2 also represents the same value, right, and of course, E3 also gets copied all the values of E2, right. So, same this is the way how one can copy the values of one structure to another structure. So, thank you. So, with this we stop over here, right, where we have discussed about what the structure is in detail. We understood how to initialize the structures or the structure members. Also, we understood how to access the structure members. Still not many things are left out. We will take up those things in the next class. Thank you.